Bill, the United States wasn't just formed easily, though, because history was trending in the direction of individual liberty. This was really a miracle that a country based on biblical, God-given rights was formed and ultimately survived to the point it has so far.
Right. The King of England, he had the most powerful navy in the world, the most trained military. We'd had a ragtag thrown together troops, no navy. Washington personally paid for an outfitting of a half dozen Washington cruisers, but we were just ragtag, and but we were committed. And people were, there's a great quote where they were willing to sacrifice their prosperity for their posterity. They pledged their lives and their fortunes and their sacred honor for a generation yet unborn. Unfortunately, today, a lot of those in D.C. are sacrificing our posterity for prosperity, saddling our kids with an unpayable debt. But we're inspired by the founders. The King of England, if it wasn't for a 3,000-mile ocean, if it wasn't for Europe being the chessboard and for a century letting America develop on our own, if it wasn't for us having a century of practicing self-government in the colonial era, and then when France entered the war, that was a big deal because now it made it a global thing, and Britain had to spread its military around the world, defending all of its global colonies from France, and that allowed us. So a lot of ingredients came into play, and our founders always credited God. I've read through all of Washington's orders to his troops and his reports of battles, and he's always thanking Providence. And so this is one of the things we need to return to. The same Continental Congress that had the Declaration of Independence, they declared a day of fasting and prayer just 2 months before they signed the Declaration. So they had faith, and it's time for us to have faith.